We're going to take something that's tried and true and make it brand new again today. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to Outdoors with Geoff. Before we light the coals for today's cook, take a minute and hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you can be notified of any new content that comes to the channel. What's up barbecue crew? Welcome back to Outdoors with Geoff. Today we got a special cook for you. We're going to be doing a 6.5 pound slab of St. Louis cut spare ribs. Now, on this channel, we like to go with some unique and different flavor profiles. And today we're going to be seasoning these with Lane's Barbecue Cubano Seasoning. Now, it's a very intense seasoning. It's got some lime in there, some orange zest, some garlic, a little bit of sugar. It's got a very Cuban flair to it, and it's got a really nice taste. I've had it on a couple of sandwiches as well. The other thing we're going to do, after we cook, we're going to glaze them with Urban Trends Brazilian barbecue grill sauce. Now this is a very zesty sauce here, and it's got a nice little kick to it and a little bit different texture to it than the regular barbecue sauce that we're used to. A little bit more of a tomato base, but it has a really great flavor to it. So in order to get this cook done, we're going to be cooking on the Chargriller Gravity 980. We're also going to be using barbecue charcoal, which is a Brazilian charcoal that's made from eucalyptus trees. Now this wood has a different smoke to it. It's a little bit strong, kind of like a mesquite, but it's also a little bit mellow as well. And it's a really nice blend, and I want to see how that comes out with these ribs here. We're going to cook at 275 degrees for 2 hours. Then we're going to take these ribs off and we're going to wrap them. And then we're going to let them go until they're toothpick tender and until we start to see a little bit of pullback on the bones at the bottom and on the back side of the ribs. Enough talking, let's get to the cook. So I started by doing a light trim and removing the membrane on these St. Louis spare ribs. And afterward, I came across the back of them with a heavy coating of the Lane's Barbecue Cubano Seasoning. Now this is a coarse seasoning, and you got to make sure you get a good pat in on this. Now I'm getting a good heavy coating here on the top as well. And this is a really flavorful rub, so you're definitely going to want to get a good amount on the meat here. And also go back and make sure you get the sides as well. These ribs are seasoned up. We're going to let them rest. So we've already got our barbecue charcoal loaded into the chute. And in looking at this charcoal going through the bag, the pieces are pretty uniform in size. I didn't find a lot of small bits like you do with some other brands. For today's cook, we're going to be rolling along at 275. And here I'm putting in a few chunks of cherry wood in the ash pan. Our ribs have rested now, and this is what we're looking like before we get on the cooker. Now that the gravity fed 980 is up to temp, we're going to go ahead and get these spare ribs on. Make sure you lay and position the ribs exactly how you want them to cook. This Cubano seasoning is really coarse, and it's going to give us a unique flavor profile on this cook. So we're going to let these ribs roll in the smoke for an hour before we take a look at them. And here's what we're looking like after 1 hour. Today I'm coming back and I'm spritzing with a mix of water, apple cider vinegar and lime juice. Now that we've added some moisture back into these ribs, we're going to let them roll for another hour. And here's what we look like after 2 hours. Our color is starting to look pretty good, so it's time to go ahead and get these spare ribs off and get them wrapped. We've definitely imparted some great flavor on these ribs thus far, but we're going to add even more. Here I'm putting down some more Cubano seasoning, and afterwards I'm coming back with some butter. And after the butter, I'm going to finish the wrap by adding some lime juice. Here I'm just getting a good cleanup on the ribs and getting that bone blood off of there. But just make sure you get them in and you wrap them nice and tight with 2 layers of heavy duty foil. Now that these are wrapped up tight, we're going to get them back on the smoker and we're going to put them on meat side down. So we're down to the finishing portion of our cook, and I'm going to let these run for an additional 2 hours before we take a look at them. And we got the alert from the Gravity 980 that our 2-hour timer is finished. And this is a telltale sign that your ribs are done. We got some good pullback on the bones, and we got that nice speckle color on those bones as well, and we're probe tender. We got some great color and flavor here, and now it's time to finish these spare ribs off with the Urban Accents Brazilian barbecue grill sauce. Now this is not your typical sweet barbecue sauce. This has a zesty flavor profile that blends really well with the Cubano seasoning. Here's where we sit after our 15-minute tack up on the smoker. Okay guys, these ribs are officially done. Let's have a quick recap. We started with 6 pounds of St. Louis style spare ribs. We did a light trim on them, removing the brisket off the back, and then we seasoned them with Lane's Barbecue Cubano seasoning, and then we got them on the Chargriller Gravity 980. Today we were burning Bob Q lump charcoal. It's a Brazilian eucalyptus charcoal, and we cooked them at 275 degrees for 2 hours. We spritzed after the first hour, and then after the second hour we wrapped. Inside the wrap we put some more of the Lane's barbecue seasoning, some butter, and a hint of lime juice in there. And then we put them back on the smoker and let them go until they were toothpick tender, and until we saw some good pullback and that good speckle color on the bones. Once we saw that, we took them off and then we glazed them with the Urban Accents Brazilian barbecue grill sauce. After that, we took them and we put them back on the smoker for about 15 minutes to tack up, and here we are. And besides that, the only thing left to do is to have a good taste test. And I can say that these really do smell great. And you can smell the difference with that lump charcoal as far as the smell of that wood, in addition to the cherry chunks that we put in the ash pan. So let's go ahead and dive right on in. It's good. That's good, clean bite through. Let me grab a napkin. Sorry about that. That was really good. The first thing I noticed is it doesn't have a sweet taste that you're used to with ribs or with barbecue. And that's okay, because this is a zesty sauce and it really has it's got a little bit of heat to it, but it also has a little bit of a tomato base to it that really kind of sets it apart. But it's a really good flavor in that sauce. You can taste a lot of this Cubano seasoning in there. The citrus between the orange and the lime, and you know, you taste the salt, pepper, and garlic as well. But it's a good mix. It's a good change up from the normal, just sweet and sugary sauces, and it's got a really good flavor to it. The charcoal really did have a good effect on this, and I think I'm going to continue to use the barbecue charcoal for a while now. It really adds a different aspect. This is my first time using eucalyptus charcoal, but it really adds a different aspect to the flavor. And to be honest with you, I can't really taste the cherry in there. I taste more of that eucalyptus, that stronger flavor. But it's a good flavor. I really do like it, and I think it would probably taste really great on some chicken. So I'm gonna probably do that as one of my next cooks. But guys, leave some comments below. Let me know what you thought. All right, guys, thanks for watching this episode of Outdoors with Geoff. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for notifications when more content comes out. And also check out these videos here on the channel as well.